Next question wants to know how fast is Steve going at 2 seconds. And this is where it gets kind of tricky with our data because we have distance measurements for like 1 second and 3 seconds, but for that 2 second mark, we don't really have anything. We do have an approximation though. We know that we were somewhere between 2 to 4 meters. Now, I want to be careful when looking at these values because you might just start jumping to conclusions. So remember what the question actually wants us to know. It wants to know how fast is Steve going at 2 seconds, okay? So average speed is gonna be a little tricky because we don't have the total distance and total time for that little interval, but we do know that at time 1 second, he was at the 2 meter mark, and at time 3 seconds, he was at the 4 meter mark. So if I plot these data out on my graph like this, I'm really looking at this stretch here, because again, I have time for 1 second. With the 1 second here, I was at 2 meters. And then at 3 seconds, I was at 4 meters. And we want to know how fast we were going at the 2 second mark. So pretty much right in here. Now it wants to know how fast we were going, not necessarily how far we traveled. So remember what we're looking for. Now I also remember from the last units that when you plot a distance time graph like this, the slope is equal to the speed, because recall, that slope is that rise over run, and if the rise in this case is going to be distance, the run is going to be time, and I all know that this is going to be equal to speed. The slope of that spot is going to be equal to the speed at that spot. So at 2 seconds, the slope is going to be this guy, right? And so we're starting at, let's see, the rise here, the distance covered, we go from 2 meters to 4 meters, right? You see that? So we go from here to here. So we go 2 meters, and that takes us 2 whole seconds, right? So 2 meters divided by 2 seconds is going to be 1 meter per second. So that is how fast we're going at that moment in time. Not how far we traveled, but how fast we're going. So remember, we have to look for the slope.